Let's take a look at the chart action for Bitcoin. Okay, so here's what I'm looking at. We had resistance, 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 support, support. And it also looks like we're getting some support right now. It looks like we're holding support on this trend line right now. In yesterday's video, I was saying, are we going to bounce on this trend line and head back up, or are we going to break through it and go down and maybe fill some of these orange lines? So basically what I'm thinking is, if we can hold support right here and maybe get a bounce, the next spot that I'll be looking at, if we can start heading back up, is around 45,000. If we break down, the next target that I'll be looking at is around 29.6k, along with these other orange lines, which are the previous bottoms on the 4-hour time frame. So I'm kind of curious if it breaks to the downside, if it's just going to be kind of a wick down real quick like we had in the past. Let's go back to the daily time frame. We had these wicks that came down and then pop back up right here and right here. So that's why I'm looking at these orange lines. But in general, if we break this trend line going to the downside, I'll also be looking at this line right here, because it's also a previous bottom over here, and this level is sitting around 29.6k. The other thing I talked about on yesterday's video is we have this pattern right here, and if we drag from the top to the bottom of this pattern and then drag that to the potential breakout, if we break out something like this target of this pattern lines up with this previous bottom at around 29.7k, 29.6k. We still haven't broken this trend line right here going to the downside yet, and we are holding support. So I'm very curious still, are we going to get a bounce right here, so head back up to around 45k, or is it going to break through and start filling some of these limit orders? The other thing I'm looking at is if we jump over to the 4-hour time frame, let's kind of zoom in. This could maybe give us an idea whether what we're going to do. So we have resistance right here, resistance and resistance. Let's go ahead and set up a trend line going like this. I think if we break this trend line going to the upside, then that's going to be the signal that we might be heading to 45k. So I think the main thing that I'm watching right now on the Bitcoin price is the 4-hour time frame, this downtrend right here. If we break that, I think that's going to be a good signal. And then if we go back to the daily time frame, this is the other main thing that I'm watching, is this bottom trend line right here. If we break this trend line going to the downside, then I think that's going to be a bearish signal, and we can start looking at these lower levels. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys like the video, hit that thumbs up button.